Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm looking at the dollar index following my last session here. I don't know if you guys remember, let me pull it up. I posted a video titled Dollar Index, the Big Picture and Why This Matters Now 4 days ago. It's a new week now. It's a week going from Monday, February 16, 2026 to the 22nd. And let's get on with it right now. So what's happening now in the dollar index? So I'm not sure if everyone, who's listening right now today has looked at my previous video, but to make a really quick summary about it, I was telling everyone to pay close attention to what's happening, what will happen now at the dollar, because contrary to what I'm assuming most news or headlines or YouTube content is stating out there at this moment. So basically that the dollar is going to continue in its depreciation. I think that there are strong possibilities for it to turn from where it is. Now, I'm not saying it's going to turn exactly from here, but there are possibilities for it to turn. Let me pick a nicer color. Let's do light blue, actually. There are possibilities for it to turn from this area, right? Either now or next week or very soon. Now, does this have to turn? For sure? No. It can continue to the downside. Now, if I pull up the monthly, you'll understand what I'm saying straight away. We're in a range here that goes from here to here, because that's the last move, last big move, right? From the 164 level to the 71.5 level, right? More or less. So where can it go from here? Well, just two possibilities. Up, eventually to break this high, and maybe break this high, but we're not sure about that right now, or down. There's no other possibilities, right? And break this low again. Of course, it can range for much longer. I'm saying in general, right? There's just two possibilities. But what if this is a slow start for more upside? Is it possible? Yes, of course it is, which is why we're talking about this, right? And is this a possible place where it can turn to the upside? Yes, because it had an impulse to the upside. There's no divergence between the previous impulse and the last one, and then there's a huge correction. So one more up is definitely possible. And this is the point where you would be looking at that. So why not pay close attention to what's happening right now and try and get a first row seat if the move happens, right? So let's go back to the daily. Now, if you look at my analysis of last week, you probably will find that after this move down, I was expecting a move up. Now, is this going to come higher, break this high and continue? Well, it's too early to tell, but I forecasted the move up, right? Because we were here. And I said, watch out, guys, because it's going to come back up, at least for this. If you fib this now, you can see that this pullback that happened here, sorry, I used the wrong instrument, and I'm sometimes confused about the tools that I'm using when they cross multiple multiple software tools, right? If you fib this, you will notice that this came all the way to the 618, which is a good point to turn, because 618 is a pretty deep retraction, right? Retracement. Everything above the 50% is very good. Deeper, let's say every retracement deeper than the 50% is good. And this one came to the 618. Can this turn and continue to go up? Yes, it can. Now, the thing that I'm doubting right now as I'm seeing is this little piece here. This piece here. This looks like a too much of a correction for this to be the whole pullback. What it seems to me is that we're going to come to one more down, or one more down, right? Because there's a structure in the middle of this. So if this was an A, B, C, the C would just come. Do you have C, 3 pieces Cs? Yes, you do, but not with a big flat coming up right at the beginning, right? That's kind of weird. So my key assumption here is that we're going to come for one more down and one more up. And this will be happening next week, if not in 2 weeks. And this will the move that will tell us if we're continuing to go down, so dollar depreciation, or if this is then going to continue. I'm not assuming that this is going to continue straight away from where it is because of what I just said. Now, if I go on the smaller time frame, I can see this correction was pretty big. Very big and quite long, right? 4 days, 3-4 days of correction. So, and you have divergence here. Now, this is not the correct way to measure divergence, guys. Remember that, because first of all, this can continue to grow up to the way it could disappear, and then you wouldn't be even talking about divergence, right? So you cannot measure the divergence now, right? This would be just internal divergence, so something happening on the smaller time frames. But it is there in the sense that it's relevant. And it also tells you that you might have some dark greens here on the MACD, and that could be a buy opportunity, right? So this can also continue. But if you haven't gotten, let's say, in the buy from here because you recognize this as a correction, then you wouldn't get into the buy now. Now you have to wait and see what happens. This is a very expert kind of buy, to be fair. So I did get a small, very tiny part of this, basically on the euro dollar short, but I also closed it, I think, around here, so much earlier, and then it actually went. So at this point, I would, on the euro dollar, it's ranging. I'm going to sit and wait. If it gives me another correction here, I will get in a buy. I'm not going to get in the sell. For me, the sells, I know that we had many weeks of months, of downtrend, but I'm not going to get in the sell here. Here, I'm going to wait, and I want to start looking for buys. And if the price comes here, right? So around, let's say, the 786, I'm not gonna get in the sell. I'm gonna skip the sell, actually, unless, you know, there is some news happening at the very perfect moment and I have an unbelievable risk to reward, in which case I'm gonna get the sell. But even if I do get in the sell, I'm gonna close it around this area, and I'm gonna look for the buy. And the buy I'm gonna get, and I will try to keep. Now, if I'm reading that this is another correction for more downside, then I will close my buy, and then, yes, I will get into the sell, because this will be the breaking point, right? We would be breaking the weekly trend. if we go further down, right? Now, does this mean that we're going to go all the way here? No, of course not. This can stop right here and then go back up. Is this a likely possibility? Yes, because there's no divergence on the bigger time frame on these 2 points. So one more high is expected. Now, and this high can go on forever. We're not sure of that, but one more high is expected, and this would be a massive, dollar appreciation move, right? If I'm pulling up the price range instrument on TradingView, we're talking about a 20% increase in the dollar index, right? So, and this is against what most people are saying right now. But keep this in mind, what I'm saying right now, because, if it happens, then you can remember that I said it. I think it will. So, and I'm getting ready for it. So sells, any sells, kind of possibly short-lived, any buys, you might want to consider keeping a portion. And we'll try to follow this closely so we can even eventually publish a nice buy setup on TradingView, if not here on YouTube, on TradingView. You can find me on TradingView pretty easily. And you can also follow me there if you'd like. I can pull up my channel. Hopefully I can do that. I'm a bit of here we are. I don't know why I have to press many times. This is my TradingView profile, Profxedge, and you can follow me here. And I will also try to publish an update on oil, because it's getting really, not getting, sorry, it already got interesting a couple of weeks ago, but it's continuing to be interesting. And then I'll keep you posted with the dollar index. Okay, have a really nice day, everyone, and thank you for looking at this video. If you like what you hear and if you think it's useful, you're welcome to subscribe. Thank you.